What's going up, Higher Geekly? How you doing today? It's your host for the 90s type month, I guess you want to say. It's Bergie. Everyone knows me as Michael Bergie. I'll try to bring in some of my co-hosts here. Let's bring in Kat first. I like to lead with the ladies.
Hi.
What's going on, Kat? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Chilling, hanging in there. I figured next we'll bring in the co-host with the mostest, I guess you can say, Mr. Mayhem, because he likes to bring the noise.
Awful choice.
I brought in Reggie just to make him feel bad and try to bring him in at the same. The host with the most, Reggie. Nope.
No. You got to bring in the boss man last because he's the one that pays the bills and allows us to have this fun in this geekery. So you bring in the boss last to give him the biggest shout out. Let's bring in Reggie.
Reggie, you there? Reggie.
No, I will bring myself in so fast. Besides, as soon as he said the host with the most, I already knew it wasn't going to be me. You in control of the buttons. I'm like, it ain't going to be me. He's going to play some games. So I'm going to just sit here and wait. Because I know
a lot of love on this geekery show. It's a lot of love, I'm sure.
That's all we got here is a lot of geekery, geekery and love for everybody. How's everyone doing? Right. How's everyone's week been? I haven't seen you guys since last week.
Yeah, it's been a great week.
Everybody's chilling.
Yeah, listen, man, I'm a little upset because I'm not gonna lie to you. I found out that they're coming out with another Transformers movie. I know you guys talked about it last week, and it's. I don't think they're going to do my show, which was Beast Wars. I love Beast Wars, the animated justice. It looks like basura. It looks like the trash. You know what I'm saying? The sanitation. It doesn't look good.
Everyone knows me, and we've all discussed it. I can't stand Beast Wars for the animated series. I thought it was garbage, hot trash, every which way you want to say it. That was my take. That trailer actually had me maybe feel a little love towards Beast Wars, like the new stuff they're going to do, because they actually look good. I'm sorry, Optimus Primal came on and did that. Looked fantastic. And it's Ron Perlman as the voice. Like, they got some good voice casting for that. You got Ron Perlman in it. You got Pete Davidson, which we didn't hear him talk, but he's supposed to be Mirage. But technically, that's not Mirage. It should be Jazz, if anything, if we know stuff right. But I get it. You can't have an F1 Formula race car driving through L.A.
I mean,
not allowed. I mean, it was the 80s, so who knows? We should have done that. Who knows? They're a little coked up, and they got in the car and just took off. Who knows? I don't judge.
Okay, really quickly, right? Without looking it up. What do you think was the most played 80s song that people played at the time? That might have also fueled that was probably played when people were high. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think was like the most played song when people were doing adrenaline things? Might have been driving a car, running. What do you think?
Most played song of the 80s.
All right.
I want to say White Wedding for some strange reason.
White Wedding, really?
I'm gonna go with Axel Foley.
I know you're talking about from Beverly Hills Cop. Still one of my all-time favorite songs.
I gotta come back to this because I stumped myself. I
thought you already had the answer. What happened?
I thought he had the answer right in front of him.
No, because all the songs I'm thinking about are in the 70s technically. So I'm thinking 80s song. You know what I'm saying? In LA, it's totally different. All right, go ahead, Bergie. I'm sorry. I'll come back to it. Kat, do you have one?
No, it's all.
No.
She's like, no.
I can't. See, the thing is, I know songs, but I'm not always the best at remembering the title of the song and who sings it. But we're saying 80s or 90s?
80s.
80s. I'm gonna say, "Don't You Forget About Me."
Don't you?
Oh, that's a good song.
I went like this.
Okay.
That's how I remembered it.
Okay.
I feel like songs like that from like those movies like 16 Candles and all that. Those were.
So I want to say I gotta say it's got to be something of a hair band because hair bands were the 90s, like all that stuff.
That is the 80s right there.
I got
hair
one.
bands are the 80s.
Yeah,
it could have
but
been,
I think we were hitting that new wave thing.
Yeah.
Take on
That's all like that new wave, like Flock of Seagulls kind of stuff.
But actually, you know what? Actually, I think the actual 80s song that was most played throughout everything, that's like a hype motivator, was "I the Tiger."
Oh God, yeah. You couldn't go wrong with that. My best friend Eric, that is like his number one play song when he hits the gym. It has to be in every playlist.
God.
If not, he can't work out, and he always lets me know.
I like what was it, the Starbucks commercial that they did? The Bronze Man in management.
I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah, I'll send it to you guys after the show. Sorry.
Right, so
you don't have to.
It's a classic. You know what? Whatever. Hater.
See how it is? I think we'll start with this week's episode. So this week's episode, we were talking about movies of basically that we love that were centered around animals, whether it was animated or live action or anything along those lines. So I know we all got a couple of different lists and stuff like that. So let's get started with it. Reggie, why don't you start us off? Let's see what you got.
Ooh, look at that, mayhem. I'm first. Ooh, I'm first.
By a man from Boston. I'm just saying, it's not really anything to be proud of. He said,
wow. Wow, that hate. That's okay. Give me that hate.
It's love.
It's
love. It's
Lots of love.
It's just cutting.
Feels like tainted love.
Tainted love. You know what? I wish we had an applause button because I would definitely give you that. Kudos on you for that one. Go ahead.
All right, so we're going to start at the bottom and work our way to the top.
Yep.
So unlike Drake, we are truly starting from the bottom. We're not starting in the middle, trying to get up more to the middle. So we're going to start here.
We're not starting at Degrassi.
No, we're not going to Degrassi first. We're starting here. All dogs go to heaven.
I wonder who said that.
I considered this one. This is not a bad pick. I did consider.
I thought of it. I really did.
See. So it is a good one to start with. So this one, the only reason that this one is so low is because I enjoyed it. It didn't leave as much of an impact on me as the rest of the movies that I'm going to be having up here did. Like this one it was good. This is back in the day when we were like, is it Disney or is it not? Who made this? Because you know, you're a little kid. You weren't paying attention to the names of the companies. Like, who made this? What am I watching right now? And this is back when Don Bluth Animation, had they stayed the way they were, they probably could have rivaled Disney for years.
Yeah.
But they had great animation, great voice actors. They had a lot of good stories to tell.
Exactly.
Just let the hate flow, Reggie. Continue.
Wow.
Continue.
Wow.
That's because he knows his is a little bit, weak. That's why he's starting off like that.
Right.
Ooh.
You know? That's what it is.
Down there.
I missed it. I was too busy laughing. I'm sure it was something important.
I know.
Yeah,
I know
it
it is.
wasn't important for you. It's okay. It's okay.
All right.
But
Who switched our pictures?
Mayhem. Or Reggie did.
No, Reggie. That was already.
Because I didn't want you to be covered. I wanted them to know exactly who that applied to.
I knew it was personal. That's why I asked. Go ahead.
It's okay, continue. But no. I enjoyed it. It's an enjoyable movie. Dom DeLuise is probably at his best in these animated Don Bluth. He's I think he's in every Don Bluth animated film.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
As he should be, King.
Bruh, he was always bringing his A game, and just that you could just tell. And then when he would always do that dry laugh with his characters,
Yep.
It's like that was his signature thing. And Burt Reynolds, I mean, bruh, I barely knew who Burt Reynolds was, but he was the sassiest, most classiest street dog that I ever heard of. That's all there is to it. I'm like, who is this Burt Reynolds guy? Then I got older and said, oh, it's Smokey from Smokey and the Bandit.
Right.
Got it. But
okay,
this movie, it just stands out. Like anytime I think of animal movies, this one, it's not going to be at the top, but it's going to be up there. Okay. It's going to be up there. And actually, everyone's got 5. I've only got 4. If I would have picked a 5th, it probably would have been Secret of NIMH, but that one gets a little too deep for me sometimes. I'm like, bruh.
I was looking at that one in Fievel, but I didn't want to put him on there because I was like, they're a little too deep. Both of them.
It's like both of those, American Tail and NIMH, are like right there. They're just bubbling right below the surface.
Yep.
And
easy eye.
this one tops both of those because it's lighthearted and it's fun and it's, hey, look, we're gonna give you a second chance to go and set things right and have a good time. And nah, son, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go gamble. I'm gonna go get some more debt. I'm gonna get my dudes out of debt. We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna party it up. Don't break my stopwatch, but hey, let's party. He's like, 5 minutes? Nah, how about 5 days? Let's go. Like, seriously, what would you do? Somebody's like, hey, I'm gonna give you a second chance. Only for a little bit, though. Here's the thing that's gonna keep you here. I'm gonna snatch that and I'm gonna go back down and I'm gonna have me a grand old time until I almost send myself to doggy hell because somebody broke my watch.
Spoilers.
Ma'am, no, there's no spoilers for this. If you have not seen this movie by now,
there are generations of people that do not know the solid gold that is waiting for them to discover.
100%.
Well, we are about to drop that gold on them. They're gonna get paid today,
sir.
And sir, again,
you need to chill. Get out of the chat.
Anyways,
anyway, thank you. Anyways, we have that. You got to have a solid foundation to build your stuff up from the bottom to the top. So this is my solid foundation.
It is a solid pick. No hate.
We're starting here. And even though there's a little girl in it, she's not like the Superman focus like the movies of today where it's like, this is a movie about giant robots. Here's a bunch of humans.
Can I say one thing though?
Yes.
Looking back at it, is it me or she kind of reminds me of Pinocchio a little bit? Like
Snow White.
She's kind of.
I was thinking
Snow White. Yeah,
Snow
her
White.
too.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna.
I can see that. I can see that.
And you can, if you look at the two of them, the two leads, it's Lady and the Tramp style.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Look at that. Look how they got us back then.
Okay. But yeah, it's like this is back then.
Hey, if it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
Exactly.
That's right. This is back when everyone was borrowing from one another, and it was okay because you're like, hey, here's my Nazi. Hey, did you see what I did here? Did you see what I did there? And it was like, all right, cool. We see you. And this was when things were like, I wouldn't say they're heating up. It was like a Cold War. It's like everyone was staring at each other. What are you going to do? Oh, I'm going to do that. Oh, you're doing that? Oh, this is my new project. Oh, here's our new project. Bruh, okay. I don't know what happened. After Anastasia, they should have blew up. But then they disappeared.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Don Bluth animation should have blown up, but they didn't. But that's okay. They still live on my heart and on video on demand.
You're 100% right.
Me too, J-Bo.
Right. So that was that. And so here's my one after that. This is my number 3. Even though the story itself isn't, the animation is about the animals, and this was technically my first Disney movie that I had ever seen. When it came out, I was like, what is this? And I'm like, there's animation like this? And then one thing I did not know about this, because I was too young to think about this stuff. Most of the scenes in this movie are rotoscoped. If you don't know what rotoscoping is, it's where they film actual people acting out the scene and then animate over them.
Oh,
Disney started pioneering that with this and Jungle Book, and I think there was a little bit of it in Snow White, but the 70s and 80s, yeah, it was all about the rotoscoping. And one thing people might not know is Disney got smart and learned how to reuse scenes. So the scene of Maid Marian dancing at their party in the woods, they went and redid that and turned that into Baloo and King Louie dancing in the jungle. And I'm like, oh, wait, what? And then if you look at it, you see the people that are dancing, and then you see them do one rotoscope and then right into I was like, oh, snap. And it was like, great. You never saw this?
Yeah, back in that day when they were literally like hand drawing on it. They had to take whatever shortcuts they could.
That's right.
No hate on that. That's smart thinking. Work smarter, not smarter, not harder.
Work harder.
Well, it is Disney.
Yeah, it is Disney.
Smarter, not
please, sir, have a drink of water. Work harder. All right, Kat.
But
J-Bo, this is actually the first Robin Hood movie I've ever saw, believe it or not.
Exactly same.
I think it's mine too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's mine too.
So I think we all read the book. It also stands out to me because this is my mom's favorite.
Real confused when I saw Kevin Costner's ass after that.
You're like, why is there a human in my Robin Hood?
I don't remember that scene.
You're doing what with who now, sir? I think not. But yes, this one is. I can watch this one all day, every day on repeat. It's just the voice acting is just out of the park, and the fact that they just bring the same people back in for the Disney movies like they did with Don Bluth animation. It's like you could tell these people were about the craft. Dude, Shere Khan, oh my God. I forget who voices him, but he's just got that poise and that, it's like you're going to pay attention to me because I am so regal when I speak. And I'm like, bruh. And then they brought him back as Prince John, and he went from I'm Shere Khan down to I'm Prince John. It's like, bruh, the range, the acting, and just the way that they did the storyline, and it's just marvelous. It's a fantastic Disney film. I love this film. So I always will. I always saw myself as one of these two kids. When I was assertive about myself, I'm the little rabbit. When I was my regular self, I was the turtle. Are you sure we should be doing this? I don't know. And then other days I'm the rabbit. I'm like, we going. It's full throttle. We got to go. Look, my man, we got to go. Yes, Ray, and the music. Like, if you start whistling the whistle stop theme song, everyone's gonna know what it is. They're not gonna know what it's from, but they're gonna know what it is. They're like, oh yeah, ba 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 da 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 dee da beat up bo. Like, bruh.
I've been humming that in my head since you pulled up this film. So yeah.
See, there you go, right there. As soon as you see it, the song's up there. Robin Hood and Little John running through the forest. Yes, I'm excited. Okay, I talk about things that I like on a show that I like. Why would I not be excited?
I like that this is also Baloo.
Yes.
Right?
You guys heard me, right? It was George Sanders who did the voice of Shere Khan, and he's amazing.
He's got 139 credits to his name. I also went on the IMDb.
We gotta learn something here, you know?
Right? And then one thing I like is the theory of Baloo, where he's like literally like in Quantum Leap, and he's just experiencing all these different lives at different times. But he's the Baloo from Tailspin, but he's going back through time, experiencing all these other Baloos as they live their lives.
And in the live action version, he's the floor manager for Altered Reality.
I knew you were going to do it.
I couldn't help it.
It's all good. It's all good. I like it.
So yeah, really. So you're saying his nickname is Baloo?
Yes.
I gave him that nickname a few years ago.
I actually cosplay as a human form of Baloo for cosplay.
Get nice. Do we have the pictures? Can we bring that up?
I'm sure we could find them. He does a very specific Baloo.
Yes.
Please. Next show.
Is it Tailspin Baloo?
Please.
Yes.
It is.
I do Tailspin.
I am begging you, please. Do you want a quarter pence for this? I will do it.
We should have a cosplay episode where all of us dress in a cosplay. We should do it.
Mayhem's like, I'll pay a coin for the Witcher. Right here, let's go.
Toss a coin for your Witcher.
Oh, Valley. Okay, no, we'll get a strike on that one. Let's not sing that one.
What's your next song? I'm sorry, next song.
All right, next movie. Spinning off of Baloo, we're going right back to Baloo. Yes. We're going to the Jungle Book. Like, this is when I started paying attention to the music in Disney movies.
Mm-hmm.
Bruh. The bare necessities? Bruh. I want to be like you?
Woo.
Bruh. I was like, dude, I was jamming when I was like, Disney, what is... Yeah. Bruh.
Disney has had an opportunity to make music that is just touches everybody's soul, no matter what.
Yes. And this is when I started paying more attention to the music in the movies, and I was like, I want to listen. I like this, and then it went from there. And yeah, if your soundtrack ain't good, if it's, as the man likes to say, that basura, nah, get it out of here. Disney.
I agree,
for me,
J-Bo.
This is where it started with Disney, and it went up, and then it peaked at Tarzan. Because, bruh, Phil Collins, man, what were you doing? They're like, hey, give us a good song. He's like, here, have 12. Get out of here. one good song.
One good song from Phil Collins. You better come
was
back
like,
for an
nah, I can't
album
do
and an
that.
experience.
Right?
Right? And so this movie and the story, and I'm okay with the first remake with Jason Scott Lee. I haven't really liked any of the ones that have come after, but it's probably because they weren't made for me, and I understand that. But the one with Jason Scott Lee was, yeah, that was the live action one I can get down with. The other two, they're not too bad. They're not bad.
I would like to have an accurate version of Ka just once.
Fair enough.
Fair.
There you go. And there's my favorite character right there. Bruh was hypnotizing everyone in the woods to try to get his way to eat this kid. Almost had it.
Inaccurate. I mean, you're right, but inaccurate.
What?
In the book, Ka is a female and actually helps him.
Okay.
That's what you meant by an accurate. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. They made Ka female in the live action that you were referring to, which also has one of my favorite lines from the book that they put in the movie between Mowgli and his wolf mother, where she says, "You're mine, mine to me. No matter where you go or what they may call you, you will always be my son." One of my most favorite quotes. But yeah, I would love for them to give us a female like mothering Ka, because that's what she was, and that's always been a small source of contention for me since I've had
Gotcha.
Well, what up? Welcome to the stream.
Okay, but yeah, and then also going back to Robin Hood, I don't know what it was about the snakes. They were just these quirky, sidekicky, I'm gonna sneak under everyone else and try to get what I want types. And I think his name was Ka. No, it wasn't Ka in Robin Hood. Damn it. What was it? But he was the advisor to Prince John, and he was one of the most conniving characters I'd ever seen. And I was like, okay, I see you. And then they did it with this, and I'm like, okay, the snakes are conniving, Disney. I get it. Snakes are conniving. Thank you.
The snakes.
But people.
It's okay. It's conniving in a good way.
How?
Okay. It makes sense in my head. That's all that matters. It makes sense to me. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. And
it's Sir Hiss in Robin.
There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then this is my second favorite character right here. I'm the tiger. I rule this savannah. I'm eating the little boy. He's mine. Bring him to me. And I'm like, who is this cat that's just like so regal and like, I don't want you to eat the little kid, but I hear you. But I don't want you to do it. But the way the way he carries himself, he's like, I am Shere Khan. You will give me the boy, and you will give me the secret of fire. It's like, you can't have that fire, bro.
King Louis wanted fire.
That's right, King Louis. That's what they wanted the fire.
Shere Khan was afraid of fire. Yeah,
that's right.
I got food.
And is this your fourth one or is this your third one?
This is my third one. I just realized where things were coming from, and I got to go delete some things because people are playing around. I'm like, that's not my banner. So you stay on your comments and stay off my banners.
Behave.
What? I don't know what you guys are talking about.
You know, we still have 3 other people to go through.
I'm waiting for him to go. It's him. He's out here giving us the whole wiki. You know what I'm saying? I'm having fun.
And one of my favorite things. All right, fine. Here we go. I get a 7. I'm cool with that. I like it. But then here's my number 1. Right here. Gonna hit you in the fields. Hit you in the fields if you're my age. Right here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Homeward Bound.
We didn't have the same number 1.
Homeward Bound.
But it's Homeward Bound. Bruh. This is, if you're my age, this is the quintessential animal movie.
Yep.
Right here. Talking animals, and one of the best lines ever that as a kid that I had ever heard that was, of course, translated to the playground. Cats rule, dogs drool.
Amen. Oh, you mean
and as soon as it came out, literally weeks later, all of this rules, that drools, and
that's right. Well,
it's just this is the quintessential animal movie for me. Yes, Prince John was a rat bastard. This is absolutely true. He's undermining his brother, trying to take everything for himself.
I also considered this film. It is a great film, but it did not make
it. It is. And this was like the best, saddest scene for me, where he saves him from the porcupine because he didn't know that he was going to get stuck trying to save the cat from the porcupine. Little Miss Sassy.
No good
scene.
deed goes unpunished.
That's right.
Bobby, welcome to the stream. Pleasure.
Thank
to have
you, Bobby.
Thank you, Bobby. Yes, this is my movie right here.
Oh,
see, look, see,
pleasure.
They know. Steven knows. Steven knows. Okay. But yeah, dude. To me, as my nieces and nephews, the Lion King was their movie, and they watched it over and over and over. This is mine for that. I watched this movie over and over and over because I loved it. Okay. And I always will. And it'll always be.
Did they digitally impose their pictures on the screen? It's trash.
Listen, hey.
It was like
this is the 80s, right? All right.
You're right. It was the 80s.
Like late 80s.
Great picks.
And me.
I
well
love
done.
it.
Well done.
Photos.
You know,
I think honestly, if I'm gonna be fair and not the troll that I am, I think you deserve a solid. I almost said 7. I'm sorry. You deserve a solid 9. I think you deserve a solid 9.
Yay!
Because
I thought it was gonna be like 6.
No, I said I'm not trolling him this time. Only because Homeward Bound for me. You know what I'm saying? The only movie I think that incorporated live animals that was sadder and hit you in the feels was Old Yeller. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We all know why. Spoiler alert, there's a shotgun with his name on it. Anyway, who's going next?
I want to hear Mayhem's picks now.
Oh, you messed up. All right.
Nope.
Ladies and gentlemen,
worried about you.
I just like to go last. I like to close out the show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you.
You're not hosting anymore. You don't get that choice anymore.
Oh boy.
Sorry for you. Okay, we're not gonna do that. So let's go for this. Okay. When it comes to animal shows, I think the best ones are animated. I'm sorry, we've had some live adaptations, but I think it probably costs too much to train animals, to portray it, blah, 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 blah.
You do realize that that's cheaper than the animated movie.
Oh, I agree. Right? But for what they want to do, there's difference between milking us for money and actually giving us gold. So let's bring up my first list. It doesn't even matter what order it is. Y'all already know Lion King. Unfortunately, we're showing.
I knew you were going to put it there.
Come on, son.
I knew that was going to be a pick for you.
Be prepared.
Wait. It's not the book this time.
Listen, those golden books were classic. All right, I give you them. You better keep them. Anyway, I think arguably to this day, this is one of Disney's top grossing, just top all around films, and this is going against cult classics like Snow White. Sleeping Beauty, the other women who like to marry men upon meeting them. It doesn't matter. Lion King was out here killing it. And, it's all animals, no humans. Great story. I think it's with my brother, the King and I, from Shakespeare, if I'm not mistaken. It's modeled after, I believe so. Great movie. I think the only one that came after that was just as good as that, I think I have it in the next slide to see it. Lion King 1.5. Come on. It was just funny. I think that's a good honorable mention, honestly.
I can go with an honorable mention. I don't know about being a top.
I don't know if I would be honored to mention it, but go ahead.
That's fine.
Go on.
Cat lady. Okay, all right. See, swinging out. Swinging today. Okay, let's go. Let's go on to the next one. So Zootopia. When Zootopia came out, let's be real. There was a lot of social justice, social memes, just everything they brought in here. It was a great movie, story-wise. It made sense. It was just for kids, but also had that layer for adults as well. Plus, they made a crack at DMV. I think anybody in the state of America would understand. Like, why is it so slow? Like, why? It doesn't make any sense. Zootopia is an awesome film. Definitely check it out. It's on Disney Plus, I believe. Yeah. I don't think I need to go
it's on Disney Plus.
All right, so Lion King's about, power struggle. This is more or less judging people by their supposed race. And there's way more layers to that. Way more layers to that. So I think you should definitely do that. It's a fun time for the family. It's really worth, if you're paying Disney, but Disney's like $15 or whatever, it's really worth it. Let's go on to the next one, please. Let me tell you why this movie's funny. Let me tell you why this movie's great.
Because it is.
It is. But you know who Ellen DeGeneres is?
Yes.
I never knew she was funny until I saw this movie. I'm sorry. The writing, the acting, it just fits so well to a point where people used to come up to her. I mean, granted, she has a show just as big as Oprah. They know who she is, what she does, and they're asking her to do the voice of Dory. She's made such an impact on children's lives. And it's a great coming of age story. You have Sherman. What's his dad's name? I forgot Nemo's dad's name. Anyway, the other clownfish. He's learning to let go because of a loss in his life, and Nemo ends up getting kidnapped, fish-napped, whatever, and he finds a friend who can't remember anything for like 30 seconds. It's an amazing story. It's referenced in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I'm sure of it when Shuri goes to Telecon. the EAC, dude, the EAC. This was amazing. They came out with Finding Dory, which I don't think had the same spark, but this was all they needed. Great, put kids to sleep. It's a great movie to learn, great value, great principles, and it's all about us growing up and learning the values of being a person and just not being over, I would say, protective, which is hard if you're a parent. So good luck on that. Let's go to the next one. Did they find Nemo? Yes, they did. Kung Fu Panda. I want to answer some of these things. So did they find? Yes, they did. Marlin. Thank you very much. That was his name, Marlin. Nemo ends up on a sushi plate. Wow, J-Bo. That's dark. And then Mia goes, I like sushi.
That's what I had for dinner. It was Nemo. It's delicious. With a little wasabi.
And some fresh ginger.
Because the Kung Fu Panda is a great movie. There's Kung Fu Panda 2. There's Kung Fu Panda 3. We had to do animals and not animated. So I wanted to put Old Yeller here because what it taught, and he doesn't even Animal Farm, which I think goes a little deep. But Kung Fu Panda, Jack Black, with Lucy Liu, Jackie Chan, he's the monkey, if you didn't know. I had to find that out. And I know I'm forgetting some of the other greater actors whose name I can't. It just came together. It's like that guy who discovered peanut butter and jelly. And then he did this. And then he did this. And then he said, whoa. Is it Smuckers? I don't know. So anyway, what's his name? Smuck. Listen, it was amazing. It's an amazing payoff film. You know, here it is. You have Poe who looks up to the legendary warriors. He's trying to be like them. Angelina Jolie. Thank you very much because she was there and she actually did something. No, don't front. Angelina don't be. Anyway, he wanted to be like them. He gets his chance because he's ultimately the dragon warrior, the legendary dragon warrior, but he doubts himself. He's already going through issues, and it's like a great coming of age, dealing with fate and just not judging. It's like all these great moral stories, and it's just a great freaking movie. If they didn't get rid of the tiger villain, I forgot his name. I think I would love to see him come back, but skadoosh, it happened. Everybody knows. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Great movie. They knew they were on to something. DreamWorks. They ended up doing 2 other films. I think a spin-off film and a series. It was like a Shrek all over again, And I think this was like the best one. Do I have another one? I don't think I have another one. Reggie, I do. No, Kung Fu Panda. That's it. All right, cool. So those are my list. That's not on my list, but I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I would once again give myself, because I'm so gracious, not the 12 that I normally do. I'm gonna go with the 9.5. I think I lost points really
8
for going.
I go with 8.
8? Yeah.
8.
Mm-hmm.
A solid 8.
As colonizers, you have to give me an extra point for reparations. So 9 is where I'm at.
That's fair.
Wow.
Wait, I was including that in my 8.
No, you didn't even know about it. Back's credit. Anyway, that was my list. Let me know what you thought. Mia said 8. I'm sorry, Mia. Sounds like a 9 to me. What's that, DW? That doesn't deter me. That's not deter me. I can't read.
I like Mayhem's list. Mayhem went with a lot of newer stuff, unlike Reggie, where was a little old school and some of the stuff in the 80s and 90s.
Can we hang out and talk animation? God, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry, Bridgie. But
it's all good.
She was hitting with the character.
Can someone hit his mute button? I'm the host, but I don't have that.
Oh,
there we go. Peace and quiet now. Oh, Mayhem. Enjoy your fries. All right, Kat, what you got for us? What are you bringing to the game here? I know you got some fire.
Hold that thought. May want to reserve that before you take a look there. My five are
for a
not
moment.
in any particular order. I have a really hard time ranking things because I'm very much in a mood or emotion driven person. So there are things that are my favorites for specific like moods or days or like, you know, holidays. So no particular order, but these are my five. Reggie, if you don't mind, please.
This is fantastic.
This film was so impactful to me as a kid. It was, I don't want to say that this is what started my love of fantasy, but it's one of my very earliest memories of fantasy content that I watched. And the story, in reference to like, this is the last unicorn, there's something taking the unicorns and they're all disappearing. So to protect her, this wizard changes her into a woman. So for the brunt of the film, she is human, outwardly, but she's a unicorn, and in something that like you don't catch on as a child, but as an adult looking back, you see how things strip you of your identity when you're forced to just kind of hide who you are to protect yourself. And like a deeper meaning that I didn't really understand until I got my hands on the book and realized that this story is so much more than what we saw in this film. But this film was super impactful. The imagery is still beautiful. The jokes are still funny. And this is something that not only do I absolutely love then, but I love in all forms of content that I can get my hands on for it now. So if you haven't seen it, please check it out. It is an amazing film.
Hey, Chris, welcome to the stream.
Hi, Chris.
And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't this like one of the first anime styles of like that we got for Americanized too?
I don't want to say I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was, because this is a very like I said, this is like one of my earliest memories of something like this. This was new and different at the time. It was something I had never seen before.
Like
and
the way that the guy's face is drawn, it looks like it looks like the Hobbit stuff, but not.
Like late 60s, early 70s, something like that.
It definitely has that feel of like animation to it, like anime style with some of the cartoons, with some of the styles of the movies that they did. And I just looked it up on IMDb because I couldn't remember one of the voices on this. This was starred Jeff Bridges, Angela Lansbury,
Mia
Alan
Farrow,
Arkin, Christopher Lee. Like these are guys and women that have shaped our childhood and stuff that they've done.
Renee Auberjonois, if you're a Star Trek fan, a lot of really great names when they're very young. But yeah, one of my favorite animated movies, absolutely worth checking out if you're into that kind of stuff.
You won't be disappointed. This is a good one.
Thank you. Might be all downhill from here.
Well, let's see. We going up or down? Which way?
Oh. The Secret of Nim.
Another
very impactful movie. This movie scared me as a kid, certain parts of it, because I didn't fully understand what was going on. But as a Don Bluth film, a little bit darker than his other stuff, a little bit scarier than his other stuff, but just as impactful. Things that you don't notice as a kid, but as an adult, the power of a mother, the strength of a mother. The way that we treat animals in the labs and what we do to them and then put them out into the world. All of these things as a child you might get, but it's not until you're watching it as an adult where you realize what they were doing when they were putting these films out. And future films, I don't think have that same kind of nuanced impact that these films did. Another one that is also a great book if you are a book reader. But yeah, definitely check it out. Secret of Nim. I'm trying not to give too many details because I want people to enjoy it without knowing how it ends.
You need to go watch and/or read this. Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And
it's one of my favorites.
Watership Down. Dear Lord, those are some.
I was so close to putting Watership Down, but I was like, child, you are not just going to pick dark movies. Pick some happy shit too. Okay.
And the nice thing is one of the movie that you're also talking about here is Reggie touched upon it earlier, who was also a voice in this is Dom DeLuise.
Yeah. It's a Don Bluth film.
It's a Don Bluth film. Like he's fantastic, and just look at the animation and the imagery here that they had.
And I have
fantastic.
always loved owls, and it is my goal one day to get that owl tattooed on me at some point.
Okay.
Side note. And also on Watership Down didn't make the list because again I thought I was just picking all dark movies that I needed to do something a little bit lighter. However, there is a mini series that came out recently on Netflix for Watership Down, which is Aces. If you didn't like the original animated cartoon from like the same wheelhouse of time as this, then definitely check out this miniseries. It's pretty bombastic.
All right, Kat, you already got 10 from Ray because of your 2 choices.
Oh yeah, thank you, Ray.
All right.
And next.
What should I worry?
First of all, I don't want to hear
care?
any slander for Oliver and Company. Is
Nope.
it a great movie? No. Is the
No.
soundtrack amazing? Hell
Hell
yeah.
Okay.
That
Okay.
alone.
Okay.
I
Soundtrack
told you.
alone is
I
fire.
told you before we started. Half my
Looks
picks have
like
to do with the
it's 7
soundtrack.
for me.
Billy Joel, that
Yes.
opening song, you can't touch it. You can't touch it. I'm sorry. Yes, J-Bo, this movie. I don't want to hear it.
But look, Mia loves it.
Thank you, Mia. Thank you.
Bobby said you won.
you.
You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
Hands down.
I do love this freaking movie, even though it's not great, but it
This was
is.
during that Disney down phase right before Aladdin. So they peaked and then they started going down. And
This
Oliver,
was
it wasn't the bottom,
definitely.
it was on the way back up.
This was definitely a movie that was. It feels like Billy Joel was like, I want to make a Disney movie, and they're like, will you do the soundtrack? And he's like, all right. That's what happened.
Hey,
But
Billy, you want to be in this movie? Can I do the soundtrack? Sure.
there are some really problematic things in this film, not to mention the depictions of certain races and what have you. So I'm not going to say that this is a great film, but what I am going to say is this
Wow, Jay,
this
that's so
soundtrack slaps.
Yeah.
There's an ET video game they put a whole. You know what? Never mind. This doesn't matter.
It's a
We'll talk about that
landfill. And
afterwards.
J-Bo,
And
I
they
don't
dug them all
disagree
up.
with you. I don't disagree with you.
Oh, the
but
movie was bad.
the soundtrack.
The soundtrack.
And the
soundtrack.
soundtrack, but also they had some good actors that did stuff in this. You had Billy
Yeah.
Joel, Joey Lawrence, Cheech Marin, Dom DeLuise, Frank Welker, Bette Midler. It didn't come with like a crappy cast. Just
No, it
overall,
didn't. And then,
was
but
bad.
and there are some good lines in there too. Some very
Yeah.
quotable things in the film too. But overall, through the lens of now, problematic. But the soundtrack.
Yeah.
But okay, moving on.
Yo, Kat.
Oh.
Okay, hear me out. Hear me
What?
out. Hear me out, Kat.
What?
You know it's my job every Wednesday to flame you all for
Mhm.
fun. This is true. This is what I do, right?
Mhm.
I'm in mind. I'm already concocting a speech where I just give you props for the soundtrack only and not for the movies. This was going to be on my list. Okay, you got to try. You got to give a big try and a big oomph. What? Are you kidding me? I didn't even know people knew about this movie. I thought I was like one of like
no, Happy
20.
Feet's amazing.
This is one of those
It won an
movies that
Academy Award, sir. What are you talking about?
First
This
of all,
is
Reggie, what you
one of
saying? I
those
can't really
films.
hear you. What?
I went in with my son. I don't remember how old he was. I don't even think I had my daughter. I might have been pregnant with my daughter at the time when we went to go see this at the theater. And he sat on my lap and his butt did not stop moving the entire
Yes.
film. He was dancing the whole thing. But the thing was,
Yep.
I wasn't even mad because I was too. The soundtrack is amazing. The voices are amazing. Brittany
Yep.
Murphy, rest in paradise, young soul. I did not know she had pipes like that. Her voice was
Yep.
majestic in this film. Not to mention, Thank you, Mia. I'll take the 9. Not to mention, there are parts that are just like with Robin Williams. He's
Oh.
fucking hilarious.
Yep.
Oh, they let him go off on that one. Yeah.
Yep.
I love Happy
you-
Feet. My kids loved Happy Feet.
Yes.
In the way that they reworked some of these songs along with
Mhm.
their feet stomping and everything,
Yep.
amazing. They even got Hugo Weaving to be
Yep.
like cracking his neck. Like I'm thinking, come on.
And the way they did the songs with people, like it was like Stop the Yard, like the way
Yeah.
they did with the foot and they matched the music to it and stuff.
It was
Wow,
amazing.
Fantastic. They did an
Like
amazing
I had
job.
chills. I love
Yeah.
this movie. Unabashedly. Okay. Moving
Wow.
on. I'm trying to be quick.
I'm
me-
trying. Oh, okay.
So I'm not going to talk too much about this one because it's already been on somebody's list, but I loved Finding Nemo. I love the story behind it. looking at people with disabilities and not being ableist is the biggest thing that comes out of this. Just because you see someone and they have some kind of disability, whether it be mental or physical, does not mean that they cannot live full independent lives, of course, depending on the severity. And we shouldn't, in trying to shield them and protect them, we're doing them a disservice. And the journey of this father, not only with Dory and with Finding Nemo himself, we kind of all went on that journey with them. And I just thought it was really well done. Probably when Disney with Pixar was really at kind of the height of what they were putting out.
I can agree with that 100%.
And then I have a honorable mention. Is that already? Now, I was a little bit too old for Balto. That was more my kids really loved this film, but the story is a great one. And the fact that Disney's doing a live action, and look at that freaking poster. The Untold True Story, because Balto, of course, is a fictional, and I'm sure this one will be slightly fictionalized as well. The story of these amazing animals and what they were doing in Alaska during the times of what are the avalanches and things when they're trying to get medicine and mail from one area to another is just an indomitable spirit. So I felt like I should give him a shout out for that. He actually has a statue up, I think, in Aspen. But Balto is definitely a favorite, but I think it's just I wasn't the right age for it when it came out. So it was something that I watched with my kids, but wasn't something that was super impactful to me other than like, oh, that's interesting. But this, look at this poster. It looks effing dope.
I mean, it's Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
I don't know what scares me more, William Dafoe or the dog.
Let me tell you, I saw like their preview, this scene where he like tosses him in Baltar or Togo or whatever his name is in the film, is actually pulling the whole sled dogs and the sled like on ice that has separated from it to try to get them up onto land. And that scene is so powerful. I'm like, I'm really invested in seeing this now. And I'm not a big one for live action with animals because I think it just kind of leans a little bit into too fake for me.
Yeah.
But that looks really, really good. So I wanted to put that out there.
Listen.
Oh, Jason, you've been to the statue. It's in New York. I thought it was in Alaska. Maybe there's more than one.
Welcome to the stream, Jason.
I didn't know where it was.
Listen,
I knew that there was a statue for him because the story is a true one, that he brought medicine to a town that was in dire need of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know too many of the details there. But those are my choices. Please judge me.
No, Kat.
There ain't no hate there. These are excellent
You
choices.
make it hard for me to be the villain right now. You want me over with Happy Feet. I'm gonna have to give you. I think it's fair. Can we know in the comments? Should she? The highest is 10. Can we give her a 10? If you think so, please reply with a 10. I think you hit it really well with just the music, because sometimes music is what makes the goddamn movie.
Amen,
Oliver. But then also,
hey, I said it from the beginning.
Yes,
strictly soundtrack.
And so the statue is in Central Park too.
Oh wow,
I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to go to Central Park.
Ma'am, you got to go and take a photo for us.
Yeah, definitely.
Road trip.
Road trip.
Only you.
So you got 3 10s, 4 10s, Kat. I think.
Hey,
tonight.
Thank you, everyone.
Kat, I definitely have to say, I think you're definitely the winner.
Well, you haven't even done yours yet.
I ain't gonna top yours.
Yeah, I know, right? Remember that time when Reggie sung "City of Gold"?
Hey, I think I'm the only one that has a T-shirt still.
Oh, snap. Ladies and gentlemen, be sure to visit the website, Hyrule Geeks Unlimited. Also follow our YouTube. So in case you missed the show, you wonder what we're talking about, you obviously watch it back. For some reason, people like watching the show on YouTube versus on Twitch. I understand. It takes a while to buffer. But anyway, definitely go over there, write 10 if you think Kat is a 10. Well, her list is a 10. Excuse me.
My list is a 10. Please don't hurt my feelings.
This is going left really quickly.
Right?
My confidence is hanging like by a thread. Don't pull that thread, guys.
You're good.
She's a 10 anyway. Virgie, it's your time to shine. I'm sorry.
I think it's my time now, so I guess we might as well start with mine. Let's start with my number 5. Oh, you're gonna go right for my top one. All right, we'll go with number 1. This was my number 1 from back in the day when I was a kid watching this with my family. And I remember we went to a movie theater in Warwick, Rhode Island. It was called Meadowbrook, and they used to do $1.50 movies. And my parents took us all to see this there. And we absolutely love this movie. Like, we cried. My mom bawled her eyes out because of the story and everything that happens. This was one of those great movies back in the day when you got to see the animals and how they interacted with, their story and their journey to get back. So if anybody doesn't know what Homeward Bound was, it basically was a bulldog pup, a Himalayan cat, and a wise old golden retriever. And basically they are trying to get home to get to their beloved family. And they go through this whole journey through the wilderness. You come across a bear, the Chase, which is the bulldog, gets hit with the porcupine pieces. This was just an absolutely amazing movie, and it had an all-star cast that did it. So you had Michael J. Fox as the voice of Chase, which I absolutely loved. Sally Field was the voice of the cat. I don't remember who was the voice of the older, the golden retriever. That's one I can't remember top of my head. I can't remember who that was. But this was one of those movies I remember watching as a kid, my whole family, and we used to rent this out all the time at the local Blockbuster.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I said it. Blockbuster Mayhem.
Hollywood's better.
Yeah, I had a Blockbuster near me, so that's how I went to. But this was one of those movies I absolutely loved, and growing up was just a great movie.
All right.
Very nice. Very nice.
Next, here's one of those ones that to me was animated and, live action. You have Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Like, I loved this movie as a kid because of Roger and the way he acted. You had Christopher Lloyd was in this, who played the bad guy. You had, come on, this was just an all-star movie all the way around. The animation from it at the time, like, this was, cutting edge that we hadn't seen yet on TV. You had Bob Haskins was in it. We've actually met the guy that did the voice of Roger Rabbit, Charles Fleischer. Let me just say that man is a unique individual.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say. Very, very unique individual.
That's all you need to say. I know
that's all I
exactly
need
what
to
you mean
say.
now.
Yes. But no, this movie was hilarious because of the different scenes and the way Bob Haskins had to act with, like, back then. They didn't really have much in the way of, like, the way the CGI is done now, where it looks so realistic. Where that you knew it was animated, but they basically did that and then go into Toontown to go there and how the acid burns everybody and just all the stuff that they did. This movie was, like, for me, it was one of my favorites growing up as a kid. I absolutely love this. It still comes on TV every once in a while. I stop and I will watch it. Just a great one.
That one time Disney said okay to letting their character show up anywhere near anybody else's characters.
Yes. It was the first,
And probably the last.
Jessica, welcome to the stream. And I kind of agree with you. I had the love and dislike of it as well. But I was young when I watched it. I'm not bad. I'm just drawn this way.
No, that's Hollywood.
That's Hollywood.
Good.
Yes.
Different one.
Oh,
no, just a different character.
Completely different.
But they did.
Talk about Cool World.
Yeah, Cool World.
Yep, Cool World.
And that was wasn't Brad Pitt, I believe, was in that.
Yes,
he was the lead actor. And who was the female?
The blondes.
Oh, I can't remember who she was.
Kim Basinger.
Oh, Kim.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So they did a fantastic job of that, but this was this one. And you know, the way they basically made her look all sultry and she wants to play patty cakes with Roger and stuff like that. The humor of it was definitely funny. And people are TikToking these videos and clips of this stuff. So it's really
very popular cosplay too, Jessica.
Yeah. Oh, very, very popular.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, we know
we have no problems with that.
Man.
I'm just no. I know.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing. No.
That did sound a little bit.
Did I tell on myself? Yeah,
you did. You told them.
Yeah. No,
go get a glass of water. Son.
I didn't mean in that way of excitement. I just meant
911. I'd like to report.
We'd like to report some thirst.
That was amazing, guys. You trolled. We're trolling.
All right, Reggie, go to my next. Now, this was one of those movies that I absolutely fell in love with, and it was more because of the animation.
Animation is beautiful
for this movie. This was the Legend of the Guardians, the Owl of Ga'Hoole. So if anybody's ever read these books, the books are absolutely fantastic.
Of course.
Great read. And the one thing I do like about this, the book and everything, well, the movie on this here, is anybody knows it, is basically it's a father's tale of these old knights of that were winged warriors that basically had to save the forest from the pure ones, the evil pure ones.
Think of the Knights of the Old Republic, but owls.
Right. And they did an amazing job with this. Animation wise was absolutely incredible. There's a scene in this. If you watched, because I remember it was like, for me, it was like Beauty and the Beast when they did the dance in the ballroom and everyone marveled at how amazing that looks. There's a scene in here where one of the owls, I think it's Soren, is actually flying through what looks like a storm and or like a snowstorm or something, or a rainstorm or something like that.
Like a gale, yeah.
Oh, I am not joking. The most beautiful thing I've ever seen on a TV screen in my life. Absolutely
Think of
incredible.
like the scene in the Two Towers where the horses are coming down and you have this play of light and shadow and the animation. And so you have this play of light and shadow in that scene that he's referring to, but you can see like the feathers, like you can see them like individually moving and the shadow and the light on there, like stunning film. I didn't care so much for the story, but visually one of the most beautiful animated films out there ever.
Hey, Thomas was
Hey, Tom.
And also, if you want to, like, with some of the voice actors for this movie, like, this was an all-star cast that was absolutely incredible. You had Jim Sturgis, Hugo Weaving, Sam Neill, Helen Mirren, Jeffrey Rush, Joel Edgerton. You have, and I believe one of the other ones, John Cleese was in this, Hugh Jackman. Like, this is just for a movie that came out in 2010 that wasn't like a box office success, but the story and everything in it and the way they did it, and to see the owls, the way they played in this movie, absolutely incredible. It's definitely something you do need to see. If you've never watched it, you'll definitely enjoy it.
Absolutely. I think this is one of those films that would have done better if it had been a series, but I understand that that would have just been like super expensive to make because they try to compress like the first 2 books into one film, and that it's just a hard sell. There's a lot of exposition, and the audience that they were targeting to, which was kids, they're not going to sit for that.
No.
Like it was just too serious for too long for kids to get into it. I think if they redid it now, that it would do extremely well.
I'd love to see what they could accomplish now, because 10, 12 years ago when they made this movie, it was visually stunning. So I'd be impressed. All right, next one. This is where we kind of get a little bit of overflow with me and Mayhem here and stuff like that. I absolutely love Zootopia. Zootopia is absolutely hilarious for the different characters. From you have Idris Elba playing the ox that's the head of the sergeants of the police station. You've got, oh my God, what's his name? Jason Bateman as Fox. And I absolutely love the Fox. I think his character in this whole thing has been great with Judy Hopps. The way they play off each other is absolutely hilarious.
Yes.
Clawhauser, which is the little like cheetah that's hilarious, and he likes donuts and whatnot, stuff like that. I love the way they did this movie, and I agree with what you guys were talking about earlier, how it is the diversity of all the different cultures and all different people coming together and doing everything, and how they created their own little cities and individual areas. And it is kind of like what we do have nowadays and stuff like that. There's different individuality, but we're also all a group and together. The DMV, you touched upon it, absolutely amazing. Like anybody's going to be in the DMV, it is slow death, absolutely slow death nowadays. If you don't have AAA, get AAA. You'll be in and out in 20 minutes. It'd be so much better. Trust me. Even if you just got to renew your license, pay the $50, renew your AAA first. You will save yourself 5 days. Promise you that. This was one of mine, and I think Mayhem said it all earlier, so we'll just go on to my last choice.
Ooh,
this is mine.
I knew somebody was gonna choose this.
I
J-Bo must be really happy right now.
I made J-Bo's night right now. I absolutely love Ratatouille just because of the overall, like, again, the animation, the story. I love Patton Oswalt, and he plays the mouse, Remy. Absolutely hilarious. He's one of my favorite comedians, and the different stuff that he does, I absolutely love. Linguini in here, and the way they have the chef, and one of the chefs, he looks like he's ex-military. He just reminds me of Gordon Ramsay, like in this movie. Like, he's psycho Gordon Ramsay. I'm just saying. And the story, and he just talks about how anybody can be a chef. It just has to take the love and whatnot for it. And he basically, a rat basically taught a kid that's an idiot that doesn't know how to boil water, how to become a cook. And the storyline to it was absolutely amazing. And I love the guy that's the food critic. And there's a guy on TikTok that his dad resembles the food critic, and he goes and makes fun of him, and he does all these videos of his father. You have to watch it. It's absolutely hilarious, the videos of this guy doing it. Spot on, perfect. But these are mine. These are the ones I like. They don't have phenomenal soundtracks like Cats does. I'm very sorry. So I definitely know I lost a little points there. She's definitely the top cat today.
Yeah. Jessica said there's a ride at Disney World if you like the movie.
Jess, I like that. Thank you.
Disneyland or Disney World?
I don't know which one, Cali or Florida. I need to know, Jess.
So while we're waiting for that, you know what? I think we're gonna go back and let the people here start giving us the score. I think you didn't move me as much, and I'm sorry. I think it's because you came after Cat. I'm gonna have to give you. Reggie, what did I give you? I gave you an 8.
Me a 9.
I gave you a 9.
You gave me a 9.
Ugh. All right, so I'm gonna put Reggie back down at like a 7.5.
No, that's not how this works.
No, Virgie, I'm gonna have to give you an 8 for me personally. Great picks. I just we got the balloon picture. We got it.
Oh man,
I cannot tell you how much joy it brought me to see him wearing.
Thank you, Kat.
Jessica, Disney World, Florida. We definitely need you to do that. We definitely need to do that. So everyone had great picks, but I'm sure this might have no one had Milo or Otis as a 5 pick.
I stayed away from Milo and Otis because of the backstory on what happened with the animals in that film. So
I watched that. That movie didn't resonate me to keep watching it after that. It was like a one and done because of the story and stuff like that.
Once I found out what happened in the filming of that film, I couldn't, Ray. And don't look it up. Enjoy this film. Just Ray, don't look it up.
Enjoy your memories if you have them.
Enjoy it.
Like Florida next week. I'll post pictures when I'm down there. Nice. So definitely.
Yes, I definitely need to see photos of that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So for this month, Michael Burgi will be the host. So be sure to come back and check in and rate all his picks. Before we go, I do have to make some quick announcements. Hold on, let me see if I can get the banner real quick. We do have a Kickstarter starting.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of another way. We have a Kickstarter that's gonna start. Whatever.
Stop. No. Let me. This is how you do it. You don't know the words?
I just sounded weird. It's like saying start, starting, starts, whatever. So Nightlight's one of our greatest accomplishments. The people we know there, it's great. The concept, the art, the story is amazing. We can't wait to help put this out. Definitely check back on our Facebook page, on our actual website on the bottom, HyroGeeklyUnlimited.com for more information. We have a really great promotion going on. So you guys definitely want to stay tuned. I'm not allowed legally to tell you what's going on, but we got hood release kind of, you know what I'm saying? We got 12 days or something. So
lawyers don't like when he talks like that.
Keep that in mind. This has been the 4-letter nerd as hosted by Michael Burgi for Geekly Unlimited. Like I said, if you missed it, check it out on YouTube. Definitely next week is Kat's birthday, just because we said it. So be sure to come back and
Kat's like, really?
And let us know how we did.
If anyone would memorize my birthday, it should be you, Mayhem.
Right?
Is it the same day as yours?
It's the same day as his daughter's.
Oh, okay.
She called it. Anywho, let us leave. Burgie, give us an outro. Boom, right on the spot. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. Just go. All right, we're out. Have fun.
Bye. That's actually the countdown. That doesn't actually go really well, Burgie. I'm sorry.